Welcome to Multifamily Investor Nation Monday Meetups. I'm your host for today. My name is Carlos D. Reinoso. I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about me when we start the presentation. But in the meantime, if you guys would, let's go around the room and let's introduce ourselves briefly and kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing in the multifamily space. Now, if by any chance you're not in multifamily, or maybe you're doing something else, let us know what you're doing there, and kind of just give us a background on you, if you will, on who you are and what you're currently doing in the multifamily space. Justin, I mean, you're ready to go. So, would you like to get us started?
Yes.
Go ahead,
My
please.
name is Justin Douglas. I'm out of Atlanta, Georgia, and I started studying real estate last year. I started getting into wholesaling, and I do really like wholesaling, but it just doesn't present that the cash flow that multifamily does. And I just started studying Grant Cardone heavy, and he just preaches cash flow and being a syndicator and everything like that. So I started studying multifamilies probably about 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. And I just been looking for, a Zoom call or Meetup or, program or course that can help me dive deeper into multifamilies. I love the benefits of it, and it's building generational wealth.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. And thank you for introducing. Which part of town are you in?
I'm out of Fayetteville, but I work out of Powder Springs. But I work landscaping for my dad. He has a tree business. So I'm working over Georgia. So I'm out of, Marietta, Cobb County, Cherokee County, Woodstock, Lawrenceville, Beaufort, East Side, Douglasville, South Side. What I know the whole Atlanta like the back of my hand. I know the whole
That
city.
sounds good. Let me tell you, that's a good thing to have under your belt. Under your belt is to have various locations, to know various locations. So, you could read the market well, you could get around well. So it's always good to be able to learn your market, right? First and foremost. So kudos to you on that. And I was going to say, I'm always in need of tree service. So that's definitely something I'd like to reach out to you about later.
Yes, sir. I will definitely get
Sounds
you.
good. Anyone else would like to go next and kind of just let us know a little bit more about yourself and what you're currently doing in multifamily?
My name is Hugo Kentave. I'm in Montreal right now, but
Cool.
I have a EV network. I do invest in multifamily, and I have a project which is a disruptive network project, which includes multifamily and EV network. So I partner with people that have multifamily, and I buy also. I do acquisition of multifamily for my network. So the EV network where people can recharge their car.
Right on. So you said you're in Montreal?
Yes, I'm in Montreal right now. Yes.
Canada. Cool. Nice to have you. Thank you for joining us today, Hugo. And what type of properties are you mainly working with? Multifamily, mixed use, or a little bit of everything?
Both. So
Okay,
wherever
cool.
I can install my network and I invest, or I partner with the people that have own the building.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then also, to your point, I'm always looking to network with Canadian investors. So if you could go ahead, and I'm going to let you guys know too, but if you would, in the chat box, you guys go ahead and put your contact info. That way we could all stay in contact. But on top of that, it'll be a good way that we could actually reach out to you after the meetup as well. Thank you, Hugo. James is a local realtor here in Georgia. I've had the pleasure of meeting with him. Great gentleman, has a lot going on in the real estate space here in Georgia. So James, if you would, tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you got going on.
Oh, yes. James, like you said, James Morgan. I'm a realtor in Atlanta, born and raised here. I've been a realtor for 4 years now, and I am switching over into the real estate development and investing in multifamily. So basically, I want to invest in multifamily, but more so develop it. I'm on the these meetups are great because I can try to meet investors who are looking to get into the multifamily space of development and can back me on some of these deals. So this is a great opportunity that I'm trying to be a part of.
Awesome. And thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, this meetup, I'll be telling you guys through and through, we first started the meetup in person. And I remember we used to meet over at Grub Burger over in Atlanta. And what ended up happening is we had some deals that were actually written on my first meetup. Partnerships were getting started and people were working out deals. So what's happened ever since we went virtual, and what I've noticed is that it continues to happen. So people keep coming back, looking for investors. Sometimes they're limited partners, LPs, and they're actually looking for deals. And I've also seen GPs looking for LPs. So definitely a great platform to network with other investors. So thanks for joining us and thanks for sharing that, James. Anyone else here that would like to share their contact info, please feel free to share it here in the chat box. And if there's nothing else, we could go ahead and get started with the content. Let me go ahead and try to share my screen here. All righty, so could you guys all see my securing capital screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Thank you guys. So again, this is Multifamily Investor Nation, Multifamily Meetup. Today's topic is going to be on securing capital, and it's not the same as raising capital. There's a little bit of a difference in the nuances here, but it just goes into further detail from our last meetup last month. So if you were here last month, you remember that the topic was raising capital for your multifamily deals. In this case, today, we're going to be talking about how to secure that capital once you've already raised it or once you're in the process of raising the capital. So yeah, Multifamily Investor Nation presents in conjunction with Canis Major Investment Capital, which is my investment firm. As you guys came in, we've asked you to please enter your contact info here in the chat box. That's a good way for us to keep in contact with you. And it's also a great way to network with the other investors on the call today. Everyone who gives us their email address will be receiving a video, how to get started in multifamily investing. I do have a YouTube channel. I hope that you guys would check it out. Every month after the meetup, we edit the video of the meetup and I go ahead and I post that on my YouTube channel. So it's a good place to network with other investors. As you can see right above me here, you see iPhone James. So a lot of times you'll have the investor name on the screen. So you'll be able to get their name, possibly look them up on LinkedIn or on social media and reach out to them that way. So please feel free to check out. We have I think over 38 videos now on the topic of multifamily, anything from finding the deals, raising capital, due diligence, etc. So definitely check that out. It would be nice if you could like and subscribe and possibly leave me a nice comment. I thank the investors that were here last month that actually left me a great comment on YouTube. I really appreciate that. And it does reflect on the algorithm. So thank you very much for that. And please feel free to leave a nice comment in the videos as well. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now also on TikTok. You can find me as Carlos D. Reinoso or Carlos de Jesus, Carlos D. E. and then Jesus. Also join us at the Multifamily Investor Summit. The next one is coming up in June. It's usually like the middle of June. This one is going to be in person. It'll be the first one ever in person. You can use my promo code CANIS. It's on the screen here in green. If you could see my arrow right here, CANIS. and you'll save $100 off the price of admission. And if you can't make it because the dates don't coincide and you're not available, you could still register and you'll have access to not only this past meetup, but also the previous meetups from the previous summits, that other summits that we've done for Multifamily Investor Nation. Okay, guys, I want to tell you guys, a lot of you who know me off camera have been reaching out about strategic partnering. It's trying to think of the terminology here, but it's basically a community of like-minded investors. We learn together. Basically, David Monroe is the course instructor. He's also an instructor for CCIM. If you're familiar with that designation, for real estate professionals, the CCIM designation, it's like a designation that you get for being able to properly analyze properties and the market. So David Monroe is actually an instructor there for many years now. He's highly recommended. I highly recommend him. But before I joined his group, he was highly recommended to me. I did a background on him. I did research on him, and I found nothing but great information on him. So I highly recommend it. I am an affiliate of his program, so I do get a little piece. If you guys do sign up through my strategic partnering link. So, I'd really appreciate it if you guys are thinking about it. Definitely join in through me. As far as cost, there's a certain fee. It depends. There's like 3 different programs you could choose from. The very best one is the one that is being part of the community for life. And you have access to David Monroe directly as well. I do know he has different where he sets up where you can set up an appointment with him and you could have 1 hour one-on-one sessions with him as well. So I hope you guys will definitely take a look at that. And let's see here. This thing is a little slow today. I'm not sure what's happening with it. Bear with me for just a moment. Okay. Alrighty. This should be going to my next screen. Uh-oh. Oh, I actually clicked on it by mistake. So this is what you see when you actually click on the link that you saw on the screen there. And I also post the link on my YouTube video. So if you don't see it here or you can't access it here, feel free to check it out on my YouTube channel as well. All righty. So, who am I and why I'm here today? So I've been interviewed on the Joe Fairless podcast. The topic was 5 tips to boost your online network and find investors with yours truly, Carlos D. Reinoso. So this is a topic that I'm very well versed with. I do know how to work with investors, how to raise the capital. I'm actually currently raising capital on a deal right now, a 240 unit Class B property in San Antonio, Texas. And, most of you who've been on this meetup before, you've heard about it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We are currently about to close that one. We should be closing it. We did have a delay in closing, so it was extended another 30 days. So we're thinking we should be closing by the end of April. So here you see where it's me and Ash Patel. He's the one that interviewed me, and this was a lot of fun. If you guys ever get the pleasure of being interviewed for the Joe Fairless show, the podcast, I would definitely check it out. It's best real estate investing advice ever show. All right, so this was the interview here. This was me and Ash Patel. We were both cracking up the whole time that we were having the interview. There was a lot of fun. Hope you guys check it out. You can still check it out. Just go to the Best Ever Real Estate Investing podcast. And you could either put Joe Fairless and Carlos Di Reinoso or Ash Patel and Carlos Di Reinoso, and it should pop up there. So my company is Canis Major Investment Capital. I am a managing partner. I'm also a general partner. Again, currently raising capital on this deal, which is a 240 unit 506B offering in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm the author of the book, Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. Basically a book that I wrote to give back to the single family industry after more than 20 years of being in the industry. And this was a summit. This was a last summit in January of this year. I was a panelist and also moderator for this panel, and it was a lot of fun. Also, you could see here I was raising capital, finding money for your deals with myself. So as you can see, I have some experience with raising capital, and I've been able to talk on the topic a few times. And so that being said, we're going to jump into the content for today. Just so you guys know, we did have, a quick chance to introduce ourselves. Before the meetup is done, we're going to go into breakout rooms, and we'll be able to network some more and kind of reach out and, and be able to network some more and get to know each other a little bit better. So I hope you guys will stick around till the end. So working with investors and securing capital for your multifamily deals. If you were here last month, or if you want to take a look, I suggest you look at the previous meetup last month. And there we were talking about raising capital, and we touched on know, like, and trust, which is this investor triad triangle that you see here. Know, like, and trust. Real quick in the chat box, as quick as you can, which would you say is most important when securing capital for your deals? Is it to know you, to like you, or to trust you? If you guys could just put that real quick in the chat box, and I'm going to take a quick look and I'm going to see. Okay, so what I'm seeing is everyone saying basically mostly like and trust are the two main ones that I'm seeing. And there is one no here. So yeah, really, in my opinion, the no is actually the most important part. We established that in the previous meetup. The reason why is because in order for someone to like you or trust you, they first have to get to know you. And it's not just know you, oh yeah, I've heard of him. No, they really want to get to know you. And as you guys know, real estate is a relationship business. So you want to establish a relationship with these people. You want to grow your relationship with the investors. And once you do, what ends up happening is, as you go through this trifecta, you see where at first they know you, then you're in the process over here of raising the capital. Then they start to like you. And then once they start to like you, they trust you and invest with you. And then the better part of that is once they already invest with you and had a good experience, then they'll send their friends and family and investor friends to also invest with you. And what's happened to me recently, and it's really cool that this happens, is through the meetup and through investors that have invested with me in the past, they've referred me onto their friends. So now what I'm seeing is where they're reaching out to me, and sometimes they're telling me, Carlos, I have $250,000. I want to invest in your deal. Let me know as soon as you get another deal, shoot me the details, and we'll go from there. So what happens is not only does the previous investor trust me, but now they're also referring their friends and family and colleague investors as well. So that's part of the triad. And in order, like I was telling James in the conversation we had recently, in order for the people to like and trust and invest with you, they really got to get to know you. So you really got to get out there. And we talked about it. I would definitely recommend checking out Raising Capital, the previous video from March, because there we go over different tactics that you could use to attract investors to know about you, such as a leadership platform, such as this meetup as well. And thank you guys for participating and entering your answers there in the chat box. I really appreciate that. Another thing you want to do is you want to host investor dinners. So why is that so important? And if you'll excuse me, I'll just take a quick sip. Excuse me. And the reason that's so important is because what you're going to do is you're going to host, like Dan says, get 8 to 10 investors. For those of us who aren't there yet, you could, it doesn't have to be 8 or 10. It could be 2 or 4, but preferably an even amount of numbers. And what you want to do is you want to invite, let's say we invited 6 total investors. 3 we've invested with, and 3 that are still trying to get to know us. What you want to do in that investor dinner is kind of ask 2 main questions. First one you're going to start off with is, what is one thing that you liked about investing with, in this case, Candace Major Investment Capital, or Multifamily Investor Nation, or PassiveInvesting.com? What was it that you liked about investing with us? And then once you get that answer, that's going to help the other investors that are still on the fence kind of get like a testimonial of why investing with you has paid off for that investor. The other question you're going to ask is, what didn't you like? And you got to be able to take the good, the bad, and the ugly together. And so when they tell you what they didn't like, what you want to do is notate that and work on improving that immediately. And obviously address it at the table and say, I appreciate you letting us know about that. We're going to go ahead and take care of that immediately. And I'll shoot you an email as soon as the problem has been addressed or corrected. So it shows them that nobody's perfect, guys, but at least when we have an issue, we deal with the issue right away. And I think that tells the investor kind of like what they could expect from you moving forward. And it's also going to confirm with the investors that are still on the fence that, yeah, look at all the great reasons why you should invest with these people. And even, their weaknesses, they're working on them. If any at all, they're working on their weaknesses, and these people are fixing and improving their back office, if you will, or their process. So that one is key, because you're also getting more investors involved, and they're learning more about you. You're inviting them to the dinner, but on top of that, they're hearing testimonials from previous investors that have invested with you and have had a great experience. Now, an investor newsletter, and a lot of us who are, experienced investors, we have a newsletter that goes out on a monthly basis, right? And it's usually like an email, a newsletter. The difference with what PassiveInvesting.com does is they send out a physical newsletter, and they send that directly to the investor's home. Now you're saying, well, yeah, I'm sure the investors don't really want, to share their home info or whatnot, but you'd be surprised. Actually, the investors are more than willing to give you that information if they already trust you. If they're trusting you enough to put thousands of dollars in your deal, then they know they could trust you enough to give you their home address or their mailing address. And so again, what Passive Investing does, they do a newsletter, a physical newsletter, and in that newsletter, they actually go ahead and they put some kind of, it's like a drawing page. Here, I actually have one here to share with you guys. Oh, this is actually realtor.com. I should have one here. I'm going to try to see if I could find one before I go, because I definitely have the magazines, the newsletter that they sell. It's basically, it looks just like this. It's like an investor magazine. Here's one. This is an actual property that they raised capital on. And let me try to get it maybe here. Yeah, here you could see it. And basically, this is a newsletter. It usually comes with like a drawing page on the inside. And this is an actual deal that we were passive investing was raising capital on. So this is really nice. If you could see all the photos, it actually comes across, it's hard to see here, but it actually has several pages that that are all very well done. It looks like a professional magazine, very well done. It's a hardcover. And so, yeah, you could definitely sign up for passiveinvesting.com even today and let them know that you're interested in being in their newsletter, and you'll get one of these directly to your home as well. And they usually have at least one per month, every month. So the newsletter that I send out is an email newsletter. And basically you just want to touch on, what you and your business, or you and your company, or you and your partners have going on, share that with the investors, and possibly add value by, sometimes what I've done is I've added like a due diligence spreadsheet. That's super helpful for somebody who's just getting started. Or again, you could send maybe a copy of the newsletter, or just kind of a way to stay top of mind with the investor, right? You don't want them to be forgetting about you. You want to stay top of mind, and you also want to continue the conversation. So yeah, if you could do a personal, physical newsletter, even better. And then what they do, passive investing, is that each partner writes a little article for the newsletter. And that way you kind of get to know the investor on a more personal level as well. And you, whenever possible, try to be as personable as you can, because it's all about them getting to know you. So the more they hear about you, they see you, they read about you, they get that sense that, man, I kind of feel like I know Carlos already. I've seen him in a few meetups. I've seen him on YouTube, on social media, and his own meetup. And I kind of get that sense that, man, if I talk to Carlos today, I'm going to have a conversation. It's going to be like we've known each other for years. And I got that same impression when I met Dan in person. Quick story. We were raising capital. We went to the Raising Capital workshop in Charlotte, South Carolina. And I hadn't met Dan in person, but we were talking off and on over the phone and through email. And he was giving me some great investment tips. I was also part of his mastermind. So, I'm really excited to meet Dan Handford for the very first time. I go, this event, the workshop, it wasn't free. There was a lot of thousands of dollars investment to join. So the people that were there were very serious about raising capital. And as soon as I walk into the room, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to say hi to Dan, quick handshake. We'll talk a little bit, and, we'll move on with the conversation. Well, long story short, what I got was one of the biggest hugs I've ever received. And it was just amazing. Amazing, because Dan is such a great person in general that you get this feeling like you've known him forever. So it was a great experience, but he comes across very relationable, because I've seen his newsletter. We talk a lot. He's got his own virtual meetups. So that's what you want to do. You want to, success leaves clues. You want to follow those clues. And then when raising money, you want to have what's called a soft commitment. So some investors will do both, a soft and a hard commitment. At passiveinvesting.com and also Kenneth's Major Investment Capital, what I do is we just do a soft commitment. So in the newsletter that we send out about the property, we'll have the like a link to the webinar. We'll have the we'll have the link to the property. We'll talk, we'll give you the I'm sorry, it's just that somebody's coming in here. Just a second while I admit them. You'll have the investor information to share along with the property, the rent rolls, the T12s. The rent rolls basically tells you, how many units are rented. The T12s, or the trailing 12 months, is kind of the financials on the property for the previous or last 12 months. We share that and a little link that says soft commit. On that link, it's kind of like a contact form. And on that contact form, it's going to ask, are you an accredited investor or are you sophisticated? How much capital do you have to invest in your deals? So they'll be able to soft commit. Once they soft commit and they say, yes, I want to invest in your deal, I have $50,000, $200,000, $1 million to put down on your deal, then it takes them to the next step, which is where they actually put their banking information. So we don't chase them down. We don't follow them around. This is what it is. You put your information, you'll get a follow-up email, and you go from there. If you do that, the investor is going to know that you have your stuff together, and they're going to feel more confident about investing in your deals, as opposed to someone who doesn't have that, and it shows that you're still, trying to get it together. So the more put together you come across, the more that's going to speak on your track record with the investor. Bear with me for just a moment. Thank you. So that's it on the saving, on the raising money part. So you want to make sure you have a soft commitment. Now that brings up another point with David Monroe's strategic partnering. He actually has this great bonus where he gives you a website. I believe it's called Syndication Pro. I'll get you guys the name for sure next time. If I'm not mistaken, it is Syndication Pro with Todd Heitner. And on there, they're giving you a discount. So you don't have to pay the initial fee to have the website. But through that website, Syndication Pro, the soft commit form, the digital form, is already built into your actual website. So it's a great website and web presence where the investor could not only research you further, but could actually invest in your deal directly through your website. So I highly recommend you put one of those digital, can't think of the word right now. If somebody comes up with the word, if you would please share it in the chat box. But basically it's a digital form where people fill out their information, kind of like where you give them a lead magnet and they fill out the information and they could do a soft commit directly through your website. Highly recommend you get a website with a soft commitment link where people could fill that information out right there. Also, with the timelines and dates, you don't want to share timelines. And what that means is sometimes you'll go to an investor webinar and they'll say, we're raising capital. We should be closing by, let's say in this case, April 30th. And you have between now and the 20th for your for all your monies to be deposited. So really what you want to do is you want to say not a timeline or a time frame. You want to be specific and say, listen, the first 2 weeks, we're going to be raising capital. The following 2 weeks, it'll be the due diligence and and give exact dates. So there's no timelines where, oh, sorry, I forgot. I thought it was due tomorrow. No, it's It's due by April 15th. The due diligence is due by April 20th. And for the most part, in these multifamily syndications, you're looking at 60 to 90 days to close. So most things are going to be in increments of either 15 or 30 days. So most times when you ask for an extension, you'll either get an extension for 15 or 30 days. And within that time frame, you want to give specific dates on exactly when the capital should be in by, exactly when the due diligence will be complete, exactly when the PPM should be signed by. And for those who don't know, the PPM is a private placement memorandum. Talk to your Securities and Exchange attorney, and they could go ahead and prepare that for you. Speaking of Securities and Exchange attorney, I'm not an attorney. I'm actually a professional realtor and a real estate professional. I am also an investor. So, you know, what we're telling you is for informational purposes only. Seek advice from a real estate professional, in this case, a Securities and Exchange attorney or a real estate attorney. Next month's topic, guys, it's going to be on performing due diligence on your multifamily deal. We're going to dive deeper on that, and we're going to go into the trenches of what you can do to properly perform due diligence on your multifamily deals. All right, that concludes my presentation. Does anyone have any questions at all that you'd like to have answered right now? This is the time. And I'm going to go ahead and just pause for a second, take a sip of water. In the meantime, I'm going to give you guys some time if you have any questions. And if not, then we could also go on into the breakout room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my contact info here. See if I could get this one going. And hopefully you guys could still see it here. So here you have my contact info. Company, Canis Major Investment Capital, LLC. My email, carlos@reinosorealty.com. My cell and my office number. Yeah, I got a feeling Hugo might have been here. Hugo might have caught this presentation before. He's the only one that put no in there. So that was a good answer, Hugo, for sure. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead. Everybody got my contact info. And for the investors that are here in Georgia, the majority, right? Feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I met up with James this past weekend or the weekend before that. I am available. We just got to make sure that I schedule something on my calendar. But I would definitely like to get to know you guys better. You know, they say with real estate, it's all about location, location, location. I would tell you from my own experience, and I've been in real estate over 20 years now, an investor for almost that long. I would tell you that that it's actually a relationship business. So, you know, if there's anything I could do to help you guys out, anyone I could introduce you to, any questions that I could help you out with, by all means, feel free to reach out. I'm an open book. So if there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop share here. Wowzers. Wow, guys, that was really cool. There's actually a lot of investors here in Georgia that are looking to partner up on deals, and they keep showing up to this meetup. I think there's a reason for that. I hope you guys will join us. Next month's topic is going to be on due diligence for your multifamily deals. Today's topic was securing capital, which is not the same as raising capital for your deals. We went into more detail, and I hope you guys will join us again for next month and every month after that on the first Monday of the month for this meetup. It's Multifamily Investor Nation, Multifamily Meetup. I'm your host, Carlos D. Reinoso. It was a pleasure to host you today, or to be a host for this awesome episode in April. I look forward to you guys joining me on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and on all social media. Thank you so much for your time today. God's blessings and God's peace. Thanks, guys. Take care now. Peace.